MC the session. Are you here, Derek?
Yes, sir. I'm standing by.
Awesome.
How you doing, Jason?
I'm
All
doing
right, start
amazing.
right
How
in.
about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Everyone here, just want to do a small intro here. Mr. Jason Gilbert, it works for Entrepreneur Source as a career ownership coach, and he specializes in helping clients with their education awareness and discovery as they explore possibilities available to them. So we're here. I know that sounded like a script. I didn't like it, but I did need to get that out there to everyone. Hey, so how's your week going, man? What's been keeping you busy the last few days?
Man, it's been going amazing there. The biggest and best thing, one of the greatest lessons or things that I heard when I was trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do next with my life was, and I know today's Wednesday, but they were like, I love Mondays because I wake up every day and I get to help people, and to be able to see like that light shine. Like I have a client right now. He's going mad, liking all my posts on LinkedIn. Like he's right there at the cusp of figuring out this next step in his life. So he's giving me energy. So that's where I get my energy from these days.
That's really cool, man. Building your career and helping others succeed. What drew you to that world? What brought you over there?
Okay. So I'll give the long or maybe the medium story of it.
Do the long one, man. We're all here. We're all here. Do it.
All right. So I myself did not serve in the military. My brother did 22 years in the Navy. And when I tell people what ship he was on, I get to hear the jokes of the nickname. But he was on the SS Kitty Hawk,
Oh
which
yeah,
has been
shitty kitty.
decommissioned at this time. But I I saw the sacrifice that he made in his life, his family, his kids, and heck, I didn't see him for like 4 years when he was deployed from that standpoint. So this is kind of my way of honoring him, in that sense. So to tell you the story, I worked 17 years in manufacturing right out of school, and the first job I trained for 2 weeks, and they said, okay, here you go. Here's $6 million worth of equipment. Here's 32 team members. Good luck. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Bumped my head a lot. But one of the key things that I learned early on is the people on the floor that do the job every day, they have the answers to a lot of the problems we're trying to solve in these boardrooms or these conference rooms from that standpoint. And if you listen and do what you say you're going to do, they'll pretty much give you the keys to the kingdom. And I think they felt sorry for me a little bit too, bumping my head a few times. But those two things, listening and do whatever you say you're going to do, and they shared a lot with me. So my career took off. And then in like 9 months, I got selected to an executive mentoring program. And the mentor was the COO of the company, mid-sized company, 18 plants in the US, four international. But he was like my boss's 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 boss. And so I'm working night shift. I'm dirty, tired. We're meeting at 8 in the morning. I'm trying to sound professional and smart. And the first meeting we had, he said, Jason, I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to draw a box at the top of that. And I want you to draw a line down and an arrow and a circle. He said, at the top of that box, I want you to write the word purpose. In the circle, I want you to write your job description. And then he said, you and I won't talk again until you learn the purpose of this company. And he hung up the phone on me. Again, I'm 9 months out of college. My boss's boss's boss. All I'm thinking is somebody's fired. COO just hung up on me. So then we met again. We exist to attract and grow profitable customers worldwide in order to increase shareholder value. Why I remember that one company's mission, and I worked for several companies throughout my career. He made an impact on me. He said, "Okay, from that standpoint, you're going to be faced with 100 decisions a day. If it aligns with the purpose of this company, do it. If it doesn't align with the purpose of this company, don't do it." And that, along with understanding the people on the floor have the answers to most of the problems we have, will be the two things I say contributed to whatever level of success I achieved in corporate. Um, Fast forward, the pandemic, it had a way of slowing us all down. And I went through that time of what do I want the rest of my life to look like? Um, as Rick was talking, I have a little one. She's 4 now, so this is right around that time. And I actually stepped away from my career. I, I didn't. This the part I don't recommend to people. I didn't have a full plan on what that next step was going to look like. I just knew I needed to do something different. This wasn't a fit. And when I put my notice in, they actually offered me more money. They were like, how much for you to stay? Um, so tried a lot of different things. End up going back into manufacturing within 9 months. Start uh, getting more promotions, but start having that same feeling of there has to be something different in life. I was meeting my wife and daughter in the parking lot of the daycare in the morning just to get a chance to see her because it was dark when I left, dark when I got home. And so at that time is when I got a lot more strategic. Um, and I got in touch with a coach. And one of the best lessons that they taught me was slow down for a moment, take a step back, and figure out what you want your life to look like. So that purpose in the box that I learned years ago, if we don't figure out what our purpose is, what do we want in that box? Somebody else is going to figure it out for us, and more than likely, it's not going to be something that we want. So for me, I wanted to be in control of my schedule and time. So like after this, I have one more call for the day. My daughter has a swim lesson tonight. I'm taking her to swim lessons. My previous career in life never would have been an option. So I wanted control of my time and my schedule. Second, I wanted to be able to help people. And so when that guy gave me that comment of, hey, it's Monday and I get to help people every day, that really kind of aligned with what I wanted my life to look like. And it was great sitting in on this call a little bit earlier as I'm listening to Rick share some of those different things. I'm like taking notes here, like, man, I felt that. I lived through that in a sense. So in short, that's what I do. I help people figure out that next step in their life and their career. But we do it in reverse engineering. So before we figure out the what, like whether it's a job, the name of the company is the Entrepreneur Source, and I actually own the business there. My title is a career ownership coach. So it's not so much just about entrepreneurship. That's just one vehicle. It's figuring out what you want your life to look like, and then let's find the right vehicle that can get you there. So we do it through series of worksheets, DISC assessment. I'm sure you all have taken all different types of assessments and tests and things from that standpoint. But we figure out kind of what motivates you, what you like, what you don't like, and really what do you want your life to look like. So when he talked about pivoting to the different business standpoint, completely different than what he had done before, that actually happens a lot more than you would think in that sense. It's again figuring out what do you want your life to look like, and then let's find that right vehicle that can get you there. So long answer. I move my hands around a lot there, but thank you for the question.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I mean, it's really cool. How many people are interested in starting their own business? Throw one in the chat if you're interested in entrepreneurship at all. There you go. So you got some people that are looking to start, like they want to start their own stuff. One eventually. Look at that. So we got some people that are thinking about it later on down the road. So that's really cool. So when you're going through this, is there anything like cutting edge that you would say that they're using, or any kind of how are you staying current on like the trends and stuff like that for entrepreneurship?
Gotcha. So right now, I partner with over 250 different businesses across 40 different industries. And that changes from time to time. Like you said, as the industries change, as time change. So we have some that move in, a few that may move out from that standpoint. But I have people that reach out on my behalf and continue to build those relationships. And then I create those personal relationships with those different industries and things from that standpoint. So there's some unique and interesting things out there.
What kind of markets are you talking about? What kind of job
So
opportunities are you talking about?
so 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 anything from IT to technology to children education to children products and services to elder care to everyday services that you see being offered throughout your community there. So
Wow.
I mean the range is wide.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So over the years, when you've like faced challenges, you've talked about a couple of them already, but what do you feel like has worked the best for you to kind of get through that and maybe show an experience that and share an experience with us that helped you get through that?
Okay. Um, I'll speak of one of my most recent clients, and she actually her retirement date was the 30th of September. Yeah. Um, Retiring from the military was a little more is intensive than she thought it was going to be. And they were moving from the state they were in to another. So she had to work on retiring, getting all those things done, moving to an entire another state, and then looking to start up a business as this next step in her life and career. The biggest thing of what I do is I meet clients where they are. The journey moves at your pace as we're going through that. And through support of other resources that I partner with, through support of the different the business that she was looking to start. One question that always comes up is finances and funding. Like how the heck are we're going to pay for this opportunity? So we do education and awareness on funding. I work with 5 funding partners. They're the experts that help figuring out how to get it paid for. So we go through a journey of education on that side. So the biggest thing is education and awareness. A lot of times we find that people just aren't aware of what those different options and possibilities that are available to them. And where I come in is by having those relationships with over 250 different businesses and then understanding what your goals are and what you want your life to look like. I then connect you with 3 to 4 based on that. And then you get that behind the scenes look at it. You get a chance to see what the financials look in black and white. You get to talk to other business owners, ask them questions of, hey, how did you start it? How long you been doing it? You know, what type of impact you had on the community? And I'll mention all those things of some different challenges that we went through with the client to kind of get to that point. But that now they successfully launched their business, and I have to actually slow them down a little bit. They've reached back out saying, you know, once they get this going, there's a second one that they're ready to start as well.
Yeah. So, how do you balance I mean, you seem very like empathetic. So like how do you balance that empathy with accountability when you're coaching entrepreneurs, man?
Very great question there. So I talked about one assessment that I do. It's a DISC assessment. So when Rick was talking about EQ, IQ, I tried to write the gentleman's name down that asked David that asked the question. So David more likely will be a high C and analytical, dot your I's, cross your T's. So that assessment, one, lets you learn a lot about you, but it helps me understand where you're coming from as well. And so I have to adjust my coaching style based on that. And I'll tell you guys what I am. I'm a high C. I'm highly analytical and things. So you constantly are analyzing and trying to make it perfect. Like you're constantly researching, and it's hard. We call it paralysis by analysis. Like you're gonna, measure, and almost never cut. So based on the person and the individual, everybody's journey is different. I adjust my coaching style based on that. To the flip side of that, we have what we call high D's, like dominance, big picture. They're ready to go. I present 3 to them, Jason. This is the one I want. Let's go. Those people, I have to slow them down a little bit because I know you don't know enough data and information yet to make an informed decision. So I adjust based on the person and their approach, whether I need to push, slow down, or just let them go, from that standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's so awesome. Um, so when you're navigating all this and you're helping these entrepreneurs and you're helping people kind of establish themselves as they transition out, what like what are you thinking about next? Like you're already making a pretty big impact. Like what are you trying to do from here? Like what other kind of impact are you trying to have?
Um, um, right now, it is continue to get the word out. Which is why I'm here today. One of your classmates actually recommended this to me. I was at a tri-base military career expo, and we met, and then we communicated after, and she shared, what you all do here. And I reached out to the team from Jordan, yourself as well. You've been communicating with me even today, in the
Yeah.
sense. Have done an excellent job in communication and creating this opportunity to be able to get the word out. So I'm actually submitting a proposal with Veterans Florida coming up here soon to do some workshops and things here locally. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, to do some events here locally. I've actually just yesterday make some more connections that I'm originally from Georgia, so I'm going to be going over into Georgia as well and doing some different workshops and things just to get the word out.
How many people from Florida and Georgia in here? Throw one in the chat. Anyone? There you go. You got a bunch of people from down there, man. Look at that. That's really cool. Is Jacksonville is close to Mayport, Florida, right?
Yes. So I would say 35, 40 minutes from
Yeah, that's the only place I really know, just because there was some ships down there. I was in the Navy myself, 20 years, so um, know a little bit about that. Does anyone have any questions for Jason? I only have one more, but I'd love to get a couple questions from the audience. Do we have anyone that's interested in asking Jason some questions? There you go. David, David, go ahead.
Good day, Jason. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, David. How about you?
I'm doing. Now, question for you. You're located down there in the Florida upper north area. Now, you said you're able to work with individuals that are not there. Do you work like on a remote? So say I'm over here in Texas and I'm really interested about, getting your services to kind of help me formulate a plan to start a business. What does that look like, and how do I reach out? Do I just connect with you on LinkedIn, get your business profile, or what's the steps I would need to do to kind of go down the
Got,
avenue? In turn with
got you.
that, what is the price? What's the service cost?
Next. All right. I'll try to answer them in that order. So one, I work with clients all throughout the country. I even have some clients that are stationed overseas. I've had some people just reach out to me on LinkedIn. They either were stationed here in Jacksonville. They've seen some events I've done around in the community. So I've worked with clients stationed in Japan, stationed in Germany. When I first started out, about 90% of my clients were outside of the state of Florida. My community helped raise me, to make that story short. So it's always been important to me to give back to whatever community I lived in. And in manufacturing, nowhere near what you all do with relocation and moving, but my wife and I, we've lived Missouri, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia 2 times, and then we've been here in Florida about 4 years now. So we've moved around, but my community has always been important to be a part of it. So that's why I do a lot of events here locally, and now I think I'm probably at I would say about 25% of my clients are actually here in the state of Florida, but still majority are not even here in the state of Florida. So there's no problem from us working together. If okay, I can put my contact information, calendar
I
link
just
in the
threw
chat.
your LinkedIn in the chat.
Okay,
So yeah,
so
yeah.
you can
You're
click on
fine there.
there. There's a calendar link. You can schedule time directly on my calendar. We'll have them via Zoom. The price. So I'm going to answer that question in about 3 steps. First thing is there's no cost to you for my services. So then the next question people ask me, like, hold on, well, how do you get paid? So those 250 different businesses that I talked about that I partner with, they pay me for my services. So the business community pay me for my services from that standpoint. But if I had to say a cost to you, there's 2 things that I'm working towards, or 3 things that I'm working towards when I'm working for you. One, to get you to that point of clarity to where you're no longer trying to figure out what you want to do next in your life. You're telling me, Jason, I got it. This is it. That's how I know we made it from that standpoint. 2, referrals and recommendations. When you look at my LinkedIn, go take a look at recommendations that I've received from clients to see what value they've gotten out of this journey. And referrals. If and only if I add value to you as you figure out this next step in your life, I could even come to you and say, hey, if you know somebody else that's trying to figure it out, that you feel like my services could be a benefit to, referrals. So those would be my three answers around the process.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So last question that I have. Does anyone else have any other questions? That was good, David. Thank you so much. Okay, last question I got for you, Jason, is if you had to summarize your coaching or leadership philosophy in one sentence, what would it be?
Hmm. Education, awareness, point of clarity.
Nice. Very, very nice, man. Well, we really appreciate you coming here, man. Everyone throw one in the chat if they are interested in speaking to Jason. It looks like we've got a couple people already doing that. Throw one in the chat for me. Looks like you got some people that are interested in talking to you, Jason. So we really do appreciate it. If there's anything else you'd like to leave us with, this is your chance now.
Thank you very much. If I had to leave you with one thing, it's that best advice that I got. Like we try to figure out all these different things, what the next step in our life is going to be. If you slow down for a moment, take a few moments and really figure out your purpose in that box. What do you want your life to look like? What time you want to have to get up in the morning? How much money you want to make? What type of impact you want to make in the community? Really dive deep into your purpose, your why. Then go after that right vehicle that can get you there.
Nice. Sweet. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, Jason. We're looking forward to hearing from you again, man. It was great meeting you and great talking with you, man.
Thank you all very much. And Jordan, thank you all for this opportunity.